course, the gentleman seated is the General. The lady next to him is Mrs. General Custer. Now, do any of you folks play piano? No? Oh, that's it. I'm afraid since you folks don't play the piano, Mrs. General Custer's going to insist on playing the piano for you tonight, and well, she's taken lessons, so we still haven't seen much improvement. And with the piano tuned the way it is, it can be rather horrid. However, Mrs. Calhoun, the General's sister, she's quite a fine harp player. She may come and play for you tonight after dinner. Now, one of the General's favorite parts about his house are his... Now, out here we do always leave the table set, just because we're never sure when guests, such as yourselves, may arrive. The tray is set with the plates up like this. Well, unfortunately, this is the West, and we have dust and also flies. Like to leave special seasonings on the plates. Mary the cook would rather be offended by that. Now, sir, do you happen to know what the General's favorite food is?
No, ma'am.
No, the General's favorite food is onions. Raw onions. He likes onions. Usually get along very well. So, ma'am, you understand what I mean when I tell you, between you and me, that's about a safe distance. We'll talk to the General. Let's go down to the company garden, yank them out of your own, and eat them raw, just the way that you or I would an apple. Now, I'd like you folks to please take special notice of the butler tray over here. Now, if you don't mind me asking you ladies a bit of a personal question, are any of you a bit dusty from your trip out here? Hip tub, which you'll be welcome to use. Mrs. General Custer does compare to bathing in a thimble. And then for you gentlemen, the river's right over the hill. The enlisted men bathe 2 to 3 times a year, so I think you've been in just fine. And you ladies can follow me. I'll show you where the hip tub is, and you gentlemen also. So come right along. I can start. Oh, we'll try to change that before you leave. And we'll make sure you get a full pair of trousers as well. Yes. Now, I must apologize to you ladies. I'm sure you're into the turkey platter over there in the corner. That was a wedding gift to the Take special notice of the cellar. Now, this is the cellar that was in the first home, and when that home burned, the General saw no point in going and digging a hole a second time, so he just built over the top of it. Now, do any of you folks know what kind of animal the General used to keep down here? Yes.
Well, that's deep.
Very close, the General used to keep a bobcat in the cellar.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, he caught on the Yellowstone expedition. However, Mary the cook and Mrs. General Custer are never very fond of it. So it's back east in a zoological garden in New York City. I believe it's called Central Park. Perhaps you've heard of it? Well, when the bobcat was still down here, you could come down in the morning and watch Mary the cook just creeping down there to get her cooking things. That bobcat would just be watching her. Mary would go into the arms full of canned goods and baked goods. See the landing right down there? As soon as Mary got to that landing, that bobcat would jump. I've seen Mary clear that ladder in about 3 jumps. However, ma'am, you jumped quite a bit yourself. You might have been able to beat her. Have you recovered your breath enough to climb the steps? You look fine to me. All right, well, we can head right on upstairs. This is a servant stairway, so of course you folks won't be using it while you stay with us. And the room right up at the top of the stairs belongs to Mary the cook. She has the room that's closest to the kitchen, so she can get up in the morning and not disturb the rest of the house. So you folks can follow me, and again, gentlemen, we are going to have the ladies go first. That's why most of us laundresses are no longer available, and there are also 19 men to every 1 lady out here on the post. So if Lieutenant Tom's not quite right for you, let me know. We'll find a gentleman that's perfect for you while you stay with us. And if your other ladies are interested in getting married, we can find you husbands within a month. Now, if you folks glance under the bed here, we have what back east, I believe these are called chamber pots. Well, out here we do call them thunder mugs. It gets to be quite a long walk out to the privy, especially during the winter, so you'll be having them under the beds while you stay with us. And do you know what the chamber pot's used for? You don't? Have you ever had an experience when you're lying in bed asleep at night? All of a sudden your eyes pop open and you realize you should have not had that last glass of water. And you're going to have to make a very quick trip out to the privy, otherwise you're going to have an accident. Do you understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what the chamber pot's for. You might need to help him with that one, sir. Now, if you don't mind me asking, how long are you folks planning on staying with us? Here, a table by the window, and then there's a watch stand back there in the corner. Now, if any of you ladies should need it, Mrs. General Custer has provided a Marcel iron for your use. Of course, I'm sure you know how to use it. Hold it over the chimney of the lamp till it's nice and hot. Pinch your hair with it. It gets a nice wave. However, I have seen ladies burn their hair off if the iron's too hot. Is that why you're wearing the hat, ma'am? I see, you burned it right off.
I did.
Ma'am, if you should need it, Mrs. General Custer has provided another hat that you'll be welcome to use to cover the burn ends if you like, if you do get a bit tired of the one you're wearing now, ma'am. But it is very lovely. On account of there being two windows, however, one of Mrs. General Custer's young lady friends from Mackey's is already occupying this room. Now, sir, are you a gentleman, a troublemaker? Can you believe it? How shocking. He then stepped to the room, pulled the door shut behind him, heard a scream, rushed back in here and rushed her to the couch. His excuse was he thought she was dying. He had a handprint on his face for more than a week. You will be staying away from that corset, won't you? Mm-hmm. Very good. Now, I imagine that you ladies have all brought along a fair number of trunks. Oh, of course. You don't need to worry about them cluttering up the guest bedrooms. We actually have a trunk room where you ladies can store your trunks while you stay with us. And if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and you walk by, if you could look at the trunk at the end of the hall, the big one, tell me how many dresses you think you could fit in that trunk. And you ladies can follow me, and you gentlemen also. But you will be getting a proper dress before dinner tonight. Very good. Now, if you don't mind me asking, do any of you folks play billiards? Have you ever hidden in a chicken coop before? It smells pretty bad. But now you know where to find them. Alright. Now, are any of you folks fond of sliding down banisters? That's what you put your hand on when you go down steps so you don't fall? Mm-hmm. Oh, that one, man.
Years ago.
I see. Well, sir, we have a lovely banister, which you'll be welcome to try tonight after dinner. Just make sure someone goes ahead of you and opens the front door. Yes. The other night, Lieutenant Tom tried sliding down it. He hit the bump at the bottom. He also hit the front door. All right. Well, you folks can follow me, Colonel, but out of respect, we still do refer to him as the General. And you can see Mrs. General Custer in her wedding dress. You can see the hourglass figure. But unfortunately, while coming out west here, that dress was in a trunk that was on a ferry. The dress got jammed, mildewed, and the dress was destroyed. Now, I imagine that all you ladies recognize the gentleman in the photograph between the two windows. Often plays Julius Caesar. Oh, I'm sure you've heard his name before, ma'am. You've never seen a photograph?
No.
I understand. Well, Mr. Lawrence Barrett and the General are quite good friends. The green book here, right to the left of the statuette, The Life of Daniel Webster, was actually a gift to the General from Mr. Lawrence Barrett. Mr. Lawrence Barrett signed it on the inside, too. I would like you to please take special notice of that book. I'd also like you to please take special notice of the field desk here in the corner. Now, whenever the General goes on campaign, he'll bring this desk with him, and the front part here folds right up, and it fits into the back of a wagon or an ambulance. So whenever the General gets to camp for the night again, just unfold it, draws maps, write his letters, journals, whatever else he may need. Fold it up, and it's ready for travel the next day. When was the last time you folks saw the General? You've never seen the General, sir. Well, by looking at the General, that's consumption. You're going to die soon. You need to sit up a bit more while you sleep so the fluids can drain properly. You understand, don't you? Good. We have two doctors in this area that are not very good. We have Dr. Porter out here in the post, and over in Bismarck we have another doctor. Here in the corner. Now this is Mrs. General Custer's favorite rocking chair. It was safe from the fire in the first home. You can see the burn marks here in the front. The General bravely sent a private back into the burning house to fetch it for her. And whenever the general's in his study doing paperwork, Mrs. General Custer will take the chair, drag it in there, and do needlework while the general reads to her. Now the next room is a bit small, so I'm going to talk about them here, then you folks can take your time looking at it. The next room is Mrs. General Custer's dressing room. So you folks, especially you gentlemen, will be very impressed to know it only takes Mrs. General Custer an hour and a half to get ready in the morning. She's quite quick. With the 3 servants and her husband helping her, that's how she manages. Back after the general's favorite activity, lacing up Mrs. General Custer's boots for her.